You three main things, three main issues that many people face when they are struggling with their authentic communication. And the first one is frequent questions for clarification, right? If you are constantly being asked for more clarification, this is frustrating. It makes you start to question and doubt yourself, right? And it even starts to um, cause you to doubt your own ability to articulate the things that are going on in your head, right? So it's frustrating when you're constantly being asked to explain it a bit more. Can you rephrase that? Can you say that? Can you say that again? Can you write that in an email? Like, you know what you're talking about. You have the job, you have the position, you have the title, you know your job. So one of those things that it's not so much, you know, bringing yourself down. Think of it more as taking a step back, okay? Because if you are being misunderstood, there's a lot more going on here than than it seems. So the first step is to just start to simplify and streamline your message. And what I mean by this is when you think about the message that you are trying to deliver, think first, take a moment and think of what are the key pieces that this person is expecting to hear. What are the key words that the listener is waiting for? What are the things that are going to pique their interest? What are the pieces of information that will help them get their job moving in the direction that they need? What do they need versus what do you want to say? What are you trying to say? This is going to help you get straight to the point. Think of it as like speaking in bullet points, right? You're streamlining it, you are conveying the exact information that they need in order to move on, and they don't have to ask you for clarification because all you've told them is the exact thing that they need to hear, right? There's more we can play along with that and add more to that. So of course you don't want it to just sound like you're, giving bullet points, but that's what you're getting at in your conversation. So the next thing is that your ideas don't lead to any action. So you're asked to give feedback and nothing happens, right? Nothing. You're just you're just talking and no one's taking notes, no one's planning on doing anything with it, no one's following through with anything. If you begin with I recommend or to move forward, we could, right? These are more actionable phrases and they will lead to a little more leadership. They tend to convey leadership in the way that you are speaking. So rather than just saying like I think we should, yeah, that's great, but adding more professional, very specific professional phrases can lead to that it just can convey a sense of leadership in terms of the way that you're communicating. And again, there's more to it than that, but this is just a good way to get started where you are controlling the situation by starting off from a point of I'm in charge. I know what I'm talking about. We're going to do it my way. Okay. So the last one is people question your enthusiasm or your commitment to the role, to the position. And this can be um, more of a cultural thing, right? If for Americans, us in the US, we are very casual. We tend to be very casual in the way that we communicate and the way that our office structures are. They tend to be more casual than other places. So if you come from an environment that is different than the office environment that you are currently in, there can be a disconnect and it can feel as if maybe you have one foot out the door because you're not engaging in the culture of the environment. So, one of the things that you can do is to be mindful and be very aware of your tone and your body language with the way that you are communicating with your peers. And this is another thing that I work with my clients a lot on, trying to understand who they are, where they come from, what is their communication style, what are their expectations, and then look at your environment. How can you connect? How can you bridge that gap? How can you find a sense of authenticity within an environment that might be completely different than where you were trained, where you were raised, where you everything that you know? And one of those pieces can be looking at your peers and finding pieces that you can adapt. And adopt to yourself and adapt to yourself as well. Adapt into becoming similar in a way that you want to convey. Um, and also, part of it could be, you know, just gonna jump straight to it, finding an office that has a style that suits you. There are times when it's oil and water. You're not going to blend. It's just not the right culture, not the right fit. And you will experience that anywhere. Doesn't have to be a cultural difference in terms of one country or over another. That can be within your country. It's a work environment that just doesn't quite fit. That's normal. But understanding that you have that choice to make those changes and adjustments with your personality, with the way that you communicate with your peers, and even adapting new phrasing, telling people that you're excited about something, that you are excited about a new project that you're working on or a social gathering with the company, letting people know that you are interested in it, talking about those things if you are. And if you are not, you get to look for other things, right? Now, unless you are tied into a contract, that's a different scenario. And again, we can work through all of that because there's a lot more to it. But when you have a choice, when you are in control, there you have a lot of opportunity, a lot of ways to create that safety that works for you. How do you find that balance when you might be a little more formal, a little more professional, more polished, and you happen to work in a very easygoing, laid back, chill environment? And it just, how do you balance that? You work in finding that safety, finding your comfort zone, finding your safe space, finding a way to feel at home in that environment. And there are so many ways to do that. um, and some is just how to organize your own workspace, how to incorporate cultural things into the work environment that might be more resonant for you. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling because again, I'll talk about this all day long. But yeah, that's just those are three main things that a lot of people that I work with are struggling with. And it it's easy on paper to tell you exactly step by step what to do. It feels different when you're going through it, but it is something that you have the steps, and it's all right there laid out in front of you. It's nothing that you need to reinvent. Everything that you need is right there. Create your safe space. Understand and trust who you are and build on your foundation, your own foundation. Reinforce it, reestablish it, renegotiate your foundation. You have that power. So I will see you next time.